WOKB, Winter Garden, Orlando.
Welcome to another edition of Real Family Talk. This is your host, Jay Real. Hope everybody's having a great Tuesday night.
Highly favored and blessed and excited.
Welcome to another.
Hello. This is your host, Jay Real. This is Real Family Talk. Welcome to the program, y'all. We got Mr. King's on the boards tonight, huh? It's going to be a good time. I see already.
Jeremy, where are you?
Man, but yeah, we're going to have some good time tonight. Like I said, we got Mr. King in the building. How you doing, Mr. King?
I'm doing good, Brother Real.
You doing all right, sir?
Very well today.
You gonna make it happen tonight on the boards, brother?
I'm going to try. You know, this is my first time, so bear with me.
Bear with you.
I'm trying to do what I can do when I can do it.
Make sure you get your tutorial from Chris Shaw there real quick before he leaves. We got Better. Better's in the building as well. How you doing, Better?
Getting better.
Getting
every
better?
day.
Every day. That's what I'm talking about. Better, a.k.a. Miss McCrae, just in case you are confused. And then my good brother Jason Henry stopped by today as well. Jason, how you doing tonight, man?
I cannot complain, man.
That's
at
good.
All.
The brother's tired, y'all. That's you can hear it in his voice tonight.
Yeah,
The man said he works hard. What you got, 8 jobs or something like that?
oh, come on, man.
Man, we're going to have a good time tonight. If you ever want to join our discussions, remember the number to call, 407-894-1680 is the number. 407-894-1680 is the number. Real quick, a couple updates. We talked about Eric Garner a couple weeks ago. Update to the story. They ruled his death, I should say, homicide. So at least they're taking the first step in writing or creating some justice for this man's family and for him, because his death obviously was definitely not called for. Senseless, doesn't make sense at all. So the fact that at least they're calling the death a homicide is a step in the right direction. We still got to see what the prosecution does. What are they going to charge? Who are they charging? And how does this case run? We'll probably have to wait about another year to kind of get that done. But at least we got a step in the right direction. Homicide, rule his death, ruled the homicide. So shout out to New York prosecutors for getting the first step right. We'll see.
Yeah, like you said, we'll see how it goes.
We'll see how it goes. But that's the first step. They ruled it not accidental.
First step is admitting you have a problem. New York obviously has a problem.
New York always has a problem.
The recent update, the guy who filmed
was arrested.
And then his wife
Yep.
The
was
man's wife who
arrested.
filmed it was arrested too.
So it's like they're targeting witnesses, so.
Yeah.
At least I would say, I won't say the charges are trumped up, but I mean at least there was a charge involved that at least you can chart from A to B and go, okay, that makes sense.
And he's a convict. I mean, he has a nice little rap sheet. So somebody was like, let's just make it. He's gonna mess up anyway. So they kind of just looking for.
But they're muddy in the waters.
Yeah. It just seems real convenient that now he gets arrested.
You know how they do.
We'll see. Hopefully they don't discredit. I mean, the video itself is pretty.
I couldn't watch it.
It's pretty intense. So.
Yeah, I couldn't.
But then again, they had video in other cases. But my fingers are crossed that they at least convict somebody on the crime.
Somebody.
I don't expect them to serve a lot of time, but at least I hope they convict somebody of the crime, because typically cops do not serve a whole lot of time.
Could this be another Rodney King?
It could be similar to that. I don't think we're going to have the same type of effects, the fallout. But I mean, certainly there's similarities.
You don't
Obviously
think so? You don't think that this would have that type of reaction?
I don't think so. Only because, one, it's not the first time we've had these types of incidents happen. and we haven't really seen a backlash from those injustices either. You know, Oscar Grant. Well, I don't remember huge backlash from the injustice of Oscar Grant
In the Bay Area, it was, you know, that side of the world, the country, West Side. Well, I mean, because things have built up. We have Trayvon, we have Jordan, we have all of these events. If this cop or these cops get off, and here's this video that's clear as day, there's no question about
You
it.
could have a powder keg.
If that does not go the correct way, I think that really can set something off.
I hope not.
I
I'll
hope
say that.
not.
I hope not.
I don't want to incite anything, but I would not be surprised when you talk about another
Just
Rodney
seems that,
King.
yeah, the environment is rife for
something to happen.
Yeah.
If it goes left.
Oh, we'll find out. We'll find out, Mr. McCray. Like I said, we got a year, and that's the other thing. When you consider the time too, that's the other thing I consider too. You're gonna have a lag between.
Are we too lazy to riot now? I'm not saying that I want to riot, but it seems to me that when it comes to issues of social justice, that we may not want to take it that far. Like, how far are you willing to go just to show America how angry you are about?
What I don't think we're lazy. I think what is the better word? Apathetic. You know, so it's sort of the same thing that we are about voting.
Lazy.
We had the opinion. is that what you call it? It's just being lazy, huh? You know, they had that. You know, what good is it gonna do? It's not gonna change anything anyway. So what's the point? And I think that's the kind of the same way people feel about rioting, about different issues these days.
Well, because I feel like after what happened with Oscar Grant and what happened with the because he wasn't a police officer, he was a not security guard, but the gentleman who was. At any rate, it was kind of a powder keg after that. They were marching, and they shut the freeway down out in L.A. because they were so angry. And it just seems to me that maybe for people of, you know, the millennium generation, they haven't experienced firsthand something that could happen with Watt, something that could happen like in South Central, where now, you know, the environment is just so toxic that you could potentially have something like that. But the other side of it is, I just don't think we want to go that far. It's just like, yeah, I'm so angry, but I don't want to throw this trash can through the window.
As angry as they were about Trayvon Martin, I wouldn't say we had riots.
See, I think Trayvon Martin was misguided anger, and I don't know. I don't think we were really angry about Trayvon, to be honest. I think we were angry because someone told us to get angry, but I don't think a lot of people felt deep down inside, I'm really angry. Not saying that people weren't, but I feel like a lot of the anger was pointed where people were telling you should be angry about this, and some people were like, you know what, I should be angry about it. Where in this situation, because again, like Ms. McCray said, you have video to show and prove what happened. And with Trayvon Martin, you didn't have anything like that. You had photos of his lifeless body at the end, but you had someone like Al Sharpton and Michael Baisden and people telling you should be angry. And I felt like that's where a lot of the anger came from. Whereas with this one, it just seems a little bit more organic. I could be wrong.
I don't know.
I've been
bro.
wrong before.
I think I would say I would agree with you that I thought the anger was misguided, you know, because obviously we were fed a lot of information, and then after the dust settled, we found out some new information, if you will. But I think generally speaking, people were, you know, really bothered, are still bothered by the situation that happened with him, and so, you know, I think if we didn't get a riot off of that, especially that being.
You don't think we're going to get one?
I don't think we're going to get one off of this, bro. I don't know.
Is that, but you know,
maybe I'm wrong.
Is that a good or a bad thing? I know we don't want people to riot.
We don't.
You're not calling for that, but at the same time, wouldn't you like to see some type of anger come out of, you know, all of these events that continue to happen? Wouldn't you like to see some type of, you know, I'm just not going to take this anymore. And even though I have, you know, this is the only outlet I know of is to throw a trash can through a window and, you know, burn down a mall. Again, not condoning that type of behavior, but wouldn't you like to see some type of outward expression of, I'm tired of this happening to people who look like me, and this is how I'm going to show you just how angry I am.
It'd be nice, bro, but I don't. I'm
Ooh,
sorry.
boy, that apathy. All over you.
This guy. This guy.
Oh gosh, it is all over you.
I'm sorry. 407-894-1680 is number 407-894-1680. Some other big news that just happened, that just dropped yesterday. First female assistant coach, San Antonio Spurs, Becky Hammon, however you say her last name there. But first female assistant coach. What do you guys think about that?
I think that's fly.
Awesome.
Yeah.
I kind of like the Spurs. Like, I might have to root for them. Thank you for the claps. Thank you. I appreciate that. That's a big deal. That's a big deal. And so I'm like, all right, Spurs, I see you as an organization.
We'll see. I was
Just a
reading
little
about her
bit.
today. She's actually been playing ball for about 17 years.
Yeah, the thing I saw
Between
said,
overseas and the WNBA.
yeah, that she was like one of the top 15 players in the NBA, like
Yeah,
of all time.
Of all time.
Yeah.
Yeah. She's apparently, she's something else to be messed with on the court.
Shows how
Apparently,
much,
It's a big
point
deal.
guard. They're kind of comparing her to Jason Kidd, Derek Fisher. Point guards who made the transition into being coaches. So and it actually, I was also reading. This isn't really new for them. Apparently, last year when she got hurt in the WNBA, she actually spent a lot of time with the team last year as she was trying to rehab. I think it was a knee injury, if I remember right. Her knee injury. So she was there at practices. She was there in the film room studying film with the coaches. Apparently, too, she was at some of the games last year, too, sitting right behind the bench. Watching and stuff. So I shouldn't say a surprise, if you will, to the team anyway. To us, of course, it's a surprise, but apparently she's been working with the team intimately for the last year. As Greg Popovich apparently told her, you're not even going to get the job. You got to earn it first. And so I guess she put in her stripes last year, and here she go.
Yeah.
Here she goes. So
hopefully it's a domino effect.
hopefully
Hopefully.
it'll be interesting.
We'll see.
Yeah, like I said, 17 years she's been balling.
Ooh.
17 years between overseas, WNBA, college, all that jazz. So she's got some experience. What do you think? You think a woman point guard is going to make it happen, Mr. King?
I'm not for sure. She's already been working with the team, and they won a ring last year. So, I mean, if they won the ring and she had already been working with them, you might as well give her a chance. I guess, Popovich is the person with the credibility to do it, if any coach is going to do it in the league right now. So, Lisa Leslie been balling for a long time, too.
She's still in the league?
No.
No, okay.
She retired.
Yeah, so
She just
she's
has
been
that-
retired for a little minute. It's a lot of qualified, other players with a little bit more melanin that should have been doing the same thing, but just never had the opportunity.
That's the thing,
you give people opportunities, and they'll step up.
Yeah.
And Greg Popovich showed that. I'm gonna give her opportunity, and we won the championship. She stepped up, so now let me make it public and give her an assistant coaching job. We just got to get some sisters with melanin to give them an opportunity too, because they've been there longer than her.
Okay.
Drops the mic and leaves. Yes.
I know
I feel
exactly
that,
where
though.
you're going with
Yeah, I
your
feel
brother.
that.
I hear you, but regardless of race, this is a
This is
pretty
a big deal. This is a big deal.
It's a big deal.
It's a big
Lisa
deal.
Leslie got that stake in the Sparks too, though.
Hmm.
That was part
The
of
Sparks
her.
still around? That's
Yeah.
I don't.
Yeah.
That shows you how much I watched.
But
Yeah.
they're still
that's-
around.
The season is going on right now, bro.
Oh, is it?
Yeah. Yeah. Yes.
Look, they had the
WNBA.
first preseason football game a couple nights ago, so
That's
I'm
all that matters.
Yeah, I'm still.
That
hung
is
on
all that matters.
All right,
They got a couple more this weekend,
Yeah,
too. One
yeah.
tomorrow, Friday, Saturday. Football's back. That's what I'm talking about. Steelers. Go Steelers, baby.
I was about to say,
407
kill that noise.
407-894-1680. He's just mad because some Cowboys going to be mediocre once again.
Sad part is I have no retort.
Oh, man. Hey, man, I'll keep it moving, man. Jason came to talk to us tonight about what's happening in these primaries coming up August 26th. So let's go ahead and start with that conversation, Jason. Talk to me, man.
August 26th, you have to go out and vote. That's number one. Number one, let me start over. If you have not registered to vote, it's too late for you to vote in the August primary, but you still have time to vote because we can do that in November. So you still have time to register to vote for the general election. But for this conversation specifically, I'm going to focus on what's happening on August 26th. If you were here in the studio, you'd see I have just a fistful of political flyers that range from candidates that are running for county commission, Congress, clerk of courts, school board, circuit judge. And the thing with a lot of these judicial races is, like, for example, one candidate is running for Ninth Circuit Court judge, and another candidate is running for Circuit Judge Group 32. So some of it can be a little confusing because you're just truly unsure of who you should vote for because maybe you have not found out, or maybe you haven't become privy to enough information about each candidate. The great thing is that you have a wonderful resource in your local Orange County Supervisor of Elections office where you can actually go to their website. You can view a list of who the candidates are for all county races, and you can go to their websites and view more information about them. So tonight I actually attended a political event that was put on by a Facebook discussion group. The Orange County Political Voice touts that it has over 3,000 members, approaching 4,000. They hosted a candidate speed dating or speed meet and greet forum where the candidates had the opportunity to come to introduce themselves, and they were given a table where voters or individuals who attended the event had the opportunity to go to each table and learn more about each candidate. So again, it ranges from Congress to clerk of courts to judgeships to county commission. So there were an array of candidates. So there are two races here locally, just because of where we are positioned, that I think we should probably focus on. And again, not endorsing any candidates, but I want you to have as much information as possible. And what I'll do is I'll start with District 2. So District 2 for County Commission basically covers Apopka. And I know for a lot of residents in South Apopka, you've probably seen signs for Greg Jackson. You've seen signs for Alvin Moore. You've also seen signs for Brian Nelson, Patricia Rump, and I think her name is Bridget Sykes. I believe that's the last candidate's name. But this race has actually been a little contentious as there was a lawsuit brought against Alvin Moore that stated that he did not deserve to be on the ballot. And there was an article in the Sentinel that talked about it where a judge actually listened to some of the evidence and gave Mr. Moore an opportunity to respond, not necessarily to respond so that he wouldn't be left off of the ballot, but just to respond to the accusation that he was not qualified to be on the ballot for District 2. The basis of the lawsuit, as I understood it, is that Mr. Moore did not resign his position with the Eatonville City Council soon enough, and he was supposed to do that by a certain date. He did not, the lawsuit accused, and that's why it was brought about. There have also been other accusations. I've had the opportunity to interview both candidates, Greg Jackson, Alvin Moore. I've had the opportunity to listen to Mr. Nelson or State Representative Nelson's platform, Ms. Patricia Rump's platform, and also Bridget Sykes. And I mean, each individual brings something to the table. It's just a matter of you figuring out which candidate you think is going to best match with the needs that you feel need to be served, I guess is the best way for me to put it. But for District 2, again, a lot of candidates: Greg Jackson, Alvin Moore, State Representative Brian Nelson, I apologize, Probation Officer Patricia Rump, and Bridget Sykes. I'm sorry, and Prince Brown. I apologize. There was another candidate, Prince Brown. If that name rings a bell, it's because he's run for Congress before and he's run for State Senate before. So this is not his first time in the rodeo. If you want to find out more about this race, again, I urge you to visit the Orange County Supervisor of Elections office. You can view each and every candidate for District 2. You can view their reports. You can actually view how much money they've raised, who's donated to their campaigns, what they are spending their money on, and you can actually find their email address and website there. So if you'd like to email them, I don't want to give out any of their personal information because I don't want to come off as if I'm supporting any of the candidates. But if you visit that website, you can find out more about them there. The second race that is here locally that a lot of people are paying attention to is District 6, County Commission District 6, that features about 8,000 candidates in that one as well. So for that one, you have candidate Roberta Walton, you have Virginia Whittington, you have Homer Hardage, who is a former county commissioner himself, you have LaWanna Gelzer, who's run for office before as well. You have Victoria Siplin, and you have Derek Wallace. A few of those names probably ring a bell for you, as Victoria Siplin is Gary Siplin, or former state senator Gary Siplin's wife. This is her second go-round in running for office. The first time was a couple of years ago when she ran against Geraldine Thompson, or Senator Geraldine Thompson, I should say, for State Senate 12. She was unsuccessful, and this is her second bid, attempting to become an elected official. The other candidates, LaWanna Gelzer, that name rings a bell because she has run for city commission prior to this, and I want to say she's run for county commission before as well. But she is running on a platform of environmental injustice, trying to fix some of those wrongs and trying to correct some of the budgetary issues going on in Orange County government. Virginia Whittington is a first-time candidate. She is actually running on the platform of trying to fix transportation in the county. Her tagline is that District 6 deserves better, and she wants better for her district. If you've ever heard her speak or ever heard her talk, she's very polished, very well put together candidate, knows exactly what she's talking about, and is one of the candidates that a lot of people have been paying attention to because she actually has been running a really, really strong campaign. The other candidates in the race, Derek Wallace, he is a businessman. He owns the Construct
2.
Yes. My mind is ticking, man.
It's all good, bro.
It's all right. It's all right.
But yeah, he owns that organization or owns that business. They are headquartered out on Ivy Lane. This is his first time. Oh, I'm sorry. This is actually his second or third time running for office. I apologize. This is his first time running for office in a really long time. But he, again, he thinks that District 6 deserves better as well. He wants to open up more economic opportunity for the residents of District 6. He wants to do something about the job situation in District 6 as well. Again, you can visit the Orange County Supervisor of Elections website to go to the link to his website there as well. And I believe his email address is listed there if you want to reach out to him. Homer Hardage. Homer Hardage is a former county commissioner who is looking to get back in county politics. When you hear him talk, he actually makes a personal connection with you because he talks about some of the people that he's come across. He talks about why he's running, why those people are giving him the zeal and the energy to want to get back into politics, because it's an interesting and non-rewarding is not the word I'm looking for, but you really have to have the stomach to do something like this. And for him to go back around the second time because he doesn't feel that the needs of some of the residents of District 6 are being met, I think is a little commendable. He's running on a platform, again, of opening up more economic opportunity, more jobs. He is a small business owner. He wants to connect small businesses to some of the resources that Orange County has to offer that some of those owners may not be aware of. So you have Virginia Whittington, Roberta Walton. She's running on a platform as the leader who listens. She has been in Orange County politics for the last 7 years. She served as the District 6 senior aide to Commissioner Tiffany Moore Russell for the last 7 years. In full disclosure, I will say that I am actually consulting on Ms. Walton's campaign. So I have intimate knowledge of what's going on there. But again, not here to endorse anyone specifically, but I want to give you as much information as I can about each candidate. Her website is listed on the Orange County Supervisor of Elections website as well. You can link to, it's not there.
No, not what I'm looking at,
we
bro.
got to fix that then.
Yeah, you got to fix that.
Yeah, we got to fix that. Yeah. All right, Google it. There you go. Google Roberta Walton. You can find out more about her. So, again, these two races I really wanted to mention just because District 2 encompasses a lot of south of Popka, and District 6 obviously is Pine Hills, and it's more than Pine Hills, but every time I hear someone mention District 6, they always say, oh, that's the Pine Hills District. It encompasses a lot more than Pine Hills. Metro West is in the district, Rock Lake, Lake Man. A lot of these smaller communities in the city of Orlando are there as well. But these two these two districts are vitally important just because of what they encompass. International Drive is in District 6, and International Drive has a lot of development going on right now. If you pass down I-4, even if you drive down International Drive, you'll see there's a big, huge Ferris wheel being put up there. There is a roller coaster. I think it's going to be, is it the world's largest drop roller coaster or something of that nature?
Something
that's
like
going
that,
to be
I
put
heard,
on
yeah.
our drive. So a lot of economic development coming there. The commissioner that you elect will have a lot of say-so as far as some of the economic opportunity that will happen in District 6, simply because, again, of all of the opportunity, I guess I should say, that's going on there. So you have a lot of jobs. Unfortunately, some of those jobs may be service industry jobs, but that's okay. They're still jobs nonetheless. So you'll have new opportunities there. District 2 will have these same opportunities because Apopka is growing, is one of the communities that's growing in Orange County here locally. So 2 races that I really and truly think that you should pay attention to. District 2, Alvin Moore, Greg Jackson, State Representative Brian Nelson, Patricia Rump, Prince Brown, and Bridget Sykes. For District 6, you have Roberta Walton, Virginia Whittington, Derek Wallace, Homer Hardage, Victoria Siplin, and Lawana Gelzer. So you have about 12 candidates vying to take over for 2 empty seats.
Correct.
Commissioner Fred Brummer is termed out, so that's why he's not running again. And Commissioner Tiffany Moore Russell, who in turn is running for Clerk of Courts, is termed out, and she can no longer run. So when you think about it, you have close to 15 people who are looking to represent your interest on the county, on the board of county commissioners. So I implore you to make sure you pay attention to those seats. And again, the judicial races are as important. You can go to the Sentinel's website. They have video of every single candidate. Depending upon, again, what's important to you, you vote your own interest. Don't allow anyone to push you towards voting for someone because of what they've told you about that candidate. Make sure you do your research and find out how that candidate may best represent you.
Oh, okay. Yeah, now I got another question for you. So, of course, there's a clerk of the courts going on, too.
Yeah.
Now, clerk of the courts, kind of break down, generally speaking, what is actually a clerk of the courts do?
It's really and truly an administrative role. It's not one of the jobs where, when you think of county commission or state rep or state senate, where you're actually affecting policy that's going to impact your daily life. But when you think about the clerk of courts, if you have to go down to pay a traffic ticket, if you have to go down to do something as far as, I don't even know, pay your child support. If you go down there, let's say they're closed, it's not efficient, the lines are long, or maybe they don't have enough individuals there to serve you, guess who takes care of that? The person who runs that office, which is the clerk of courts. I don't have Tiffany's literature here, but I actually have a gentleman who's running, Jimmy Affont. And just to give an example of what they're attempting to do, he says he wants better technology for online services, including live chat, more convenient hours of operation at branches, and expanding search options for court filings. This also has a lot to do with lawyers in Orange County. So if you hear that some of the lawyers are complaining about what's going down at the clerk of court's office, it's because maybe the process for them submitting filings or searching for filings isn't efficient. Then they're thinking, okay, well, maybe we need to get somebody new in the office. But it's really and truly an administrative role. And I know sometimes it's a little bit hard to understand because you're thinking, well, clerk of courts. I'm thinking that, maybe it's a judge or maybe it's someone that deals with judges. But again, I don't want to say clerical. It's really and truly just an administrative role. It really is. They just kind of keep the flow going. So I've had to deal with them over the past couple of months because I've had to go down and unfortunately pay a traffic ticket.
Was it efficient, brother?
Yeah, I'll say that. But Lydia Garner, who unfortunately passed away, I think it was last year, was the former clerk of court. So that's why this seat is actually open.
Right.
This seat actually wouldn't be there if she was still here, because I think that seat would have come up in 2016. But this is technically a special election. So the gentleman who's in there now, Eddie Fernandez, he was actually appointed to that seat by Governor Scott. Mm-hmm. So
handpicked.
Handpicked by Governor Scott to take over for in place of Ms. Gardner, I should say. So again, it's more of an administrative role. You're basically looking to keep the flow going, keep that office as efficient and people friendly, maybe I guess I can say, Keep it as friendly as possible so that when individuals go, they're able to take care of their business and get out as quickly as possible in an efficient manner.
Got it. Just as a reminder, the primary again is August 26th, and Jason was talking about District 2 and District 6. The key thing to remember there is the primary is on August 26th. So what's gonna happen? You want to tell them?
Yeah, I was just you made a really good point, and actually you can keep going, man, because you had a good flow, and I interrupted you.
What's gonna happen is when you go out to vote, it's gonna essentially be the top two individuals. Top two vote getters will then go on to the November election.
Absolutely.
So it's really important that whomever you like, if you want to give them an opportunity to be there in November and to actually become your representative for your particular district, you got to go out and vote in August to make sure that person actually gets one of the top two vote getters in the primary election.
And
so you got to go out August 26th. If you like any of those people, you got to be there August 26th, because if you're not there August 26th, they may not be there in November.
That's a really good point.
August when?
August 26th. If you're not there August 26th, that person may not be there in November. They're not, you can't wait to November to decide who you want in these district elections. You need to come out in August 26th and put your stamp on whomever it is you like.
And, those are two races locally that I wanted to mention. But the large race that, everybody is paying attention to is for governor.
Yes.
So on August 26th.
Vote work, Scott.
I don't think she heard you.
You ignoring me over there.
I'm not listening to you. That's what that is.
You'll have an opportunity to vote for either Nan Rich or Charlie Crist in the August 26th primary. So depending upon which candidate you like, Charlie Crist is the one that everybody is assuming is going to face Rick Scott in November, but he has a primary opponent, and her name is Nan Rich. So if he's not able to get past her, it'll be Nan Rich versus Rick Scott. So that's another important race. And, these races locally, statewide, no matter what it may be, in off-cycle political years, we tend to stay at home. And when I say we, I mean black folk. For some reason, if we can't vote for president, or if we can't vote for a black president specifically,
we stay home.
We stay at the house. And these races impact you way more than a federal race would. I'm not saying that, president and Congress or congressional seats do not apply to you. They do. But when we're talking about things that specifically pertain to your community, your road, your street, these are the races that we should pay attention to, and these are the ones that we need to go out and actually vote for. So,
remember, if you would have voted a particular way, maybe you don't have stand your ground. People say stand your ground is bad. Well, we got stand your ground because the people that were in office were mainly Republicans, still are mainly Republicans. And so we get laws like stand your ground. So it's important that you vote your interests, and perhaps you don't get those types of laws.
And the second thing that's actually happening in Tallahassee, a lot of your state legislatures have traveled back to Tallahassee for a special session that was called by Judge Terry Lewis so they can go back and redraw the congressional lines that were deemed unconstitutional. So District 5, that was being represented by Congresswoman Corrine Brown, that snakes through 8 counties, that district is going to be redrawn, as well as District 10, that's represented by Daniel Webster, or Congressman Daniel Webster, I should say. That is going to be redrawn as well. So if you have any interest in watching or at least listening to what your state legislatures are going to say and draw starting tomorrow morning, you can actually download the Florida House app in the I haven't had an Apple in so long, or an iPhone in so long. What's it called? What's the store called that you can download the app?
Miss
The
McCray?
App Store?
Yeah, the app. Oh, is that what it's called?
Yeah.
See, I'm Team Android.
The App Store.
Okay. You can go to the App Store, or
The
if you
App
have an
Store.
Android, you can actually go to the
Play
Google
Store.
Play Store.
Yes.
And you can download the Florida House app, or you can go to the Florida, I think it's called the Florida Channel. I'm not sure if Orange TV is going to broadcast any of what's happening in Tallahassee, but that's another important factor that you should pay attention to, because your congresswoman or congressman could potentially change. So once they go back to redraw these lines, if you're being represented by Corrine Brown, that could soon change. As I mentioned before, if you look at the map, It skates all the way from Jacksonville down to Orlando. So it goes through 8 counties. It really and truly looks like a little snail that's traveling down through Central Florida.
Called too much.
Yeah, gerrymandering. That's what it's called. There's a racially gerrymandered district, and she's the representative for it. And basically, this lawsuit that was brought said that it violated the Fair Districts Act of 2010. And Judge Terry Lewis said, "You're absolutely right. It does." So those 2 districts, I need you, actually the entire Central Florida congressional map, I need you to go back and redraw that, make it a little bit fairer for the residents here. So the argument was that you packed as many African Americans as you could in District 5, and that allowed more Republican districts or more Republican representation to sprout up in the area surrounding District 5. So you had black centralized political power in 1 district, and let's just say you had 10 Republican districts that surrounded it. So the League of Women Voters and a coalition of actually organizations brought a lawsuit and said that's not right. We don't like that. We think that's wrong. We think that violates the Fair Districts Amendment Act of 2010, and we think that we should have to go back and redraw them. And the judge said, yeah, it's obvious. If you go back and read, it was like a 35-page dissertation, I guess you can say, of what he said, and it's very easy to read. But his name is Judge Terry Lewis, and he basically called Republicans to the carpet. He said, yeah, you did this on purpose, and this is wrong, and I'm going to force you to go back and redraw it. So Thursday morning it starts. In fact, I was talking to Senator Geraldine Thompson tonight, and that's what she was doing. As soon as she left the event, she was headed back up to Tallahassee so that they can get back to doing the people's work, so to speak. So it'll be interesting to see how those districts look. But District 5, Corrine Brown, District 10.
Yeah, District 10, that's my district.
Yeah.
I was going to vote Webster out anyway, though. I'm on team vote him out.
Well, that guy's running against
Right.
He's
See?
running against Webster.
Yeah. That guy.
You need to look at that affiliation, though, at the bottom.
That guy.
But those are two. That you should pay attention to as well. So there's a lot going on here politically, man. There's so much going on. From fair districts to, I didn't even mention Geraldine Thompson versus Garrett Sipling.
Right.
Yeah, that's Senate 12 that's going on. So if you're riding around Pine Hills or even south of Popka, and you see any billboards, you're gonna see a lot of them from Geraldine Thompson and Garrett Sipling and Victoria Sipling too. So that's it's contentious on one side. Geraldine Thompson has been banging away at Senator Sipling. And he's just kind of riding with it.
Yeah, you know, he's from everything that my brother is kind of familiar with him a little bit, and from the vibe that I get from him is he's that guy. You know, he's Sip, as they say.
That's his nickname.
He's that guy. You know what I'm saying? He's a man of the people, if you will, and so he probably feels like, you know, I don't need to go hitting the pavement. You know, they know me.
No, don't get me wrong. He's out there knocking. He's out there getting it in. He is absolutely out there knocking.
They know me, so we'll see.
Yeah,
we'll see.
Politics is funny. I'll say that.
We'll see what happens, man. Well, we appreciate you enlightening us, Jason Henry, man, at J Henry Project, man. What else you got? Any that people should know about, man?
What else is going on, man? Did you hear about the Alabama congressman? What he said about
Democrats hating white people.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah. There's a congressman from Alabama, for my home state, who said that Democrats hate white people and they are waging a war on white people.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Your people, for real. Your people.
He's a Republican. Yeah. He said that they are waging a war on white people. So
Yeah, you know.
if you unpack that a little bit, the messaging was absolutely wrong and offensive. But if you look at the policy and the way I think just to say it's offensive and wrong and idiotic is just a little bit naive, because if you just look at its entire statement, it was all bigoted. But at the same time, he actually put in like a really, really small sentence where you're like, oh, okay. And then it's wrapped in all of this just mess. But waging a war on white people, in my eyes, just means that white folk getting scared about
The policies that are being created.
Not even the
Everything.
policies about the changing demographics in this country. So you had your first African American president or biracial president, whatever you want to call him,
Right.
Barack Obama, and you have a changing demographic that's leaning left, which means that a lot of white folk who are Republican will no longer have that supermajority anymore. So when you look at policies that are created, especially when it comes to money,
It's shifting.
it's shifting. So I think they're getting scared. So I think that comment was born out of fear in him saying that, yeah, you waging a war on white people. And he's like, yeah, that's because
White
we're
people need
becoming
to wake
obsolete.
up is what he's trying to say.
Yeah, like if y'all don't pay attention, they're gonna put another black man in the White House, or even worse, a Latino or Hispanic person in the White House.
Can't do that.
And then, yeah, we really gonna be in trouble because they are going to stop paying attention to us.
Then the national language will be Spanish.
Well, see, you know, Jason, I feel that voting is good, but we really have to start coming together and paying and putting together some checks, because voting is really it's a strong, you know, movement.
Yeah.
But the checks is what matter. Because you can walk up to somebody, like I was telling Brother Brewer earlier, you can walk up to somebody and be like, hey, you know, I voted for you. I want my voice heard. And they'll look at you like, well, thank you, but, you know, about 500 other people voted for me also.
Mm-hmm.
But if you walk up to them and say, hey, I wrote you a $5,000 check for your campaign, I guarantee they shake your hand, they take a picture with you, and they hear what you got to say. So I really think that we need to come together and pool our money together to support the person that supports our needs. And really, you know, voting, we it's hard to get us to vote. So I know it's going to be hard to get us to put some money together.
Well, I do not disagree. I think you make a very valid point about us putting more skin in the game, so to speak, when it comes to politics, because, you know, for black folk for decades, you know, our form of social currency is voting. That's basically how we are able to take care of some of our social needs, is by going to the ballot box. So as you said, it's tough, apparently, for people to get out on election day and actually go to vote. So, you know, one of the fixes, so to speak, to that is to add a little bit of money to it. So there have been talk of starting, you know, political PACs that are geared towards black folk, political PACs that are geared towards issues that are afflicting the black community, political PACs that are geared toward an idea instead of it being a candidate. So, for example, if you have District 6 and there are 6 people there, and you have this black political PAC that has, let's just say, $200,000 in the bank, and they say, yeah, we hear what you're saying, that's all good, but this is what we need you to focus on. And if you do that,
Simple as that.
yeah, we'll put a little money behind you,
That's
we'll put
all
some
you gotta do.
manpower, we'll send out some mailers for you.
And that's what you really have to do. You got to put some money behind your vote. The vote is definitely the way to get the people that you want to have the power, but they got to have some money behind them. That's how Barack got in the office. That man had raised $1 billion.
Yeah.
If he wouldn't have raised that money, he would not be in office, but he raised the money. He got that
did.
money behind him, and he had the votes.
And the other side of that is you have to, number one, you have to make sure you know where the money's coming from. So let's just say, for example, that black political PAC has $200,000, and the Koch brothers have funded the entire PAC.
Awesome.
So what does that? So what does that say for the interest of the black vote? If you have someone who has a history of funding opportunities or ideas that fly in the face of what you believe in. So is that good money or is that bad money? Are they going to say you can do whatever you want to with that? Or are they saying, yeah, we're giving you this money, but there are going to be some stipulations to it?
Hey, that just depends on what the situation is. If they tell you some stipulations, of course we want to say we won't take the money.
Right. So, but
gonna
I
take
said
that
that to make a point about, you said that Barack Obama was able to raise $1 billion. A whole lot of that billion came from Wall Street, from
That's
Lehman
true.
Brothers, and from
And who does he take up for? Who is he bailing out? A lot of that money came from the GYBON, I don't know, the gay people. A lot of the money came from the gay
Really?
people. Okay, I don't know their name.
GYBON.
I don't know. I
the GYB.
don't know. My bad. It's some initials.
LGBT, bro. LGBT.
Stop it.
I'm sorry about
I
that.
cannot.
Yeah, the
Okay.
initials. But they gave a lot of money, and you see he take up for them.
Oh
you know, I'm sorry, my bad. It just messed up my whole point because I said that initially, right?
Video.
Yeah.
But you know, you make a good point, and a lot of people have been saying that lately.
Yeah,
is that
man.
he's
Money
taking
talks.
up more? That's the thing.
That's
Money
what talk.
talks.
That's because that's basically what runs politics.
Money
is
talks.
money. So if you have money to fund your idea or your thought or your candidate, then they're going to pay more attention to you, and they're going to be willing to push as hard as they can for it.
For your ideas.
So
Money
let's
talks.
get behind a candidate in this District 6 that we support and put some money behind that person so that they can get our needs taken care of.
so the
Because
third part of that
that.
is what's the modifier? So let's just say, for example, Ms. McCray runs for office, and we put, she's gonna run for mayor, and we started this political PAC, and we're gonna give her $100,000, and she's like, I'm gonna support everything that you say that I care about this too, so I'm gonna make sure that your voice is heard when I'm on that dais. How do you make sure that she's not gonna leave you behind? Because once you vote for her and you've given her the money,
how long is she in office?
4 years.
Okay.
If you voted for her and given her the money after she gets in office,
I'm in there.
You gotta stay.
she
on
can
top
easily
of it.
come back and say, well, I mean, I want to do it, but I've learned some new information when I got here, so I can't really do it right now.
Again, that's why you
gotta
keep on giving money.
It's not so much about keep on giving money, but you gotta hold people accountable. So you gotta call her, let you know what you think about when the issues are happening. You need to email. You need to send phone calls, and it's not, and doesn't need to only be you. It needs to be that coalition of people where that money came from. You gotta hold their feet to the fire to let them know I didn't just give you $200,000. I'm paying attention to what you're doing while you're in office, and stay consistent. That's what they do, because the big money people, what they do when they have a problem with what's happening. Because they're big money people, they make that phone call. Right. Hey, I heard that you was trying to do such and such and such. That's why I love shows like House of Cards. It's and even Scandal to an extent.
Yeah.
It gives you a glimpse into what is really happening.
House of Cards,
behind
they pushing people
behind the doors. Yeah.
Hey, look.
They going overboard.
I know, right?
Are they?
I don't know.
I don't know.
But those phone calls, it's lobbyists. Like I said, the TV is not that far fetched from what reality is, and so that's what they do. They make that phone call. Hey, Senator so and so, I heard you trying to do so and so.
But I agree with
what's
that.
What's up with that? And that's what you have to stay. And it doesn't mean you're gonna win every time.
Sure.
But it's gonna let them know that you're listening. You're paying attention. And maybe and again, does that mean that you are now going to influence every vote they make? No, but does it mean that they're going to think about the fact that, hey, the last time I did this, so and so called, and everybody that he called, and so I need to think about the next thing I try.
Hey, but
and do.
I think what needs to be added to that is, let's just say she goes left and she votes against your interests 3 or 4 different times. Even though you've been calling her and saying, we watching, we paying attention, you had your whole neighborhood calling, she still ain't changed. The other part of that is, all right, you know what? We already got your replacement.
Exactly.
We are ready to fund your replacement who says that they are going to do X, Y, Z. And it's not, you're not trying to strong arm anybody, but isn't that the point of politics, to have your interests represented on either the city commission, county commission, Senate, Congress, wherever.
That's what they do.
But that's what I'm saying. So if you want your ideas brought to the table and you're sitting at the table and she's playing y'all to the left and the only thing you're doing is calling, it's all right, you know what? The phone calls have stopped because obviously she's not listening. So
you already got your
you're
next
ready
person.
to step. Exactly.
And that's why
we've already got them funded.
How many years? 4? Well, then we just got
4 years. Exactly. So your accountability kind of goes out the window when you give her the vote. Because you can call. I'm not saying that you can't hold her accountable to a certain extent, but you've already said, okay, I trust you. You've given her that trust. Because you can't do anything after she's in there.
But see, the thing about it, that's why you make sure the person that you're putting in there, you're not just putting in willy-nilly anybody in there. You got to put somebody in there who you feel is trustworthy.
Absolutely.
Who has a reputation of doing what you're trying to get them to do. You just don't put Miss McCray in there. Oh, no. You got to put somebody with some, who can actually get the job done. You got to put
I
a
tell you
Mr.
what,
King in there.
you put somebody from
No.
the GYOB community.
Right. How about that?
Okay,
It'll
everybody,
get
You
taken
trying
care
to
of.
throw
It'll get
shots
taken care of.
tonight.
everybody might go off. I will
See?
turn everybody off.
And, the problem with the politics is, and we see it in the shows that you're talking about with House of Cards, it's like you get in there with all the great intentions.
Yeah.
And then you see it's this bigger mess behind the curtain that us on the outside don't understand. So to navigate your way through this bigger mess, you take a favor from this person.
Yep.
Now you in this person's pocket.
Yep.
But then to get out of that, you got to get in this person's pocket to get out of that. And so that's where the snowball happens. And I hope that most people who go into politics in the very beginning, their intentions were good. They had a plan laid out and they really truly wanted to do great things. It's the system is so muddy and corrupt, right? Once you get in there, you have to be dirty to stay afloat.
I like to believe that everybody who decides to run has good intentions. I like to believe that. I know that's not true,
Right.
That's not true.
but I
say
would
in the
like to
beginning.
believe in the beginning everybody has good intentions. And
Well, they do have good intentions. They
it
intend
depends
to-
on what your
to
intentions are.
leverage.
Yeah.
Intend to line their pockets.
Exactly.
No.
How many candidates have you heard say, I'm for the people? I'm speaking on behalf of the people.
Yeah.
I'm doing this for the people. And then 4 or 5 years later, it's a little different. That's not always a bad thing, though. We always, I won't say always, we sometimes think that because a candidate has changed their narrative of their tone, they've forgotten about you. They've just gotten a little bit smarter and they're more knowledgeable about the system that they're working in.
System.
Exactly. So if
That's
they
it.
found out a way to navigate those dangerous waters and they're still taking care of your needs, they're just not out saying, I'm for the people, I'm doing this, I'm for the people, and their language and vernacular has changed a little. That doesn't mean they left you behind. That just means they got a little smarter. But you have started to beat that candidate into the ground. And now they're thinking, you left me. I still got your back.
Right.
But because I'm not saying some of the things that you think I should say, or I voted yes for something that you said I should have voted no for when you had no idea what was actually happening, then that's when it turns. And the relationship turns sour. You can actually compare that to Daisy Lynham. When she first started, she was she was a social worker. And then everybody was all right. And then it turns out, well, she's the most horrible commissioner in the history of city politics.
Right.
So I mean, you see, she was only there for 16 years, and I say that because those terms are 4 years. So you think about it, when those terms turned over, she wasn't there technically that long. But that's how quickly the narrative about you can change. One vote can make a difference. Where if you go there and everybody in the community, we can use the half-cent sales tax that they're talking about expanding for Orange County so that they can continue to build more schools and renovate different schools. A lot of people the first time said, I'm for it. You're going to renovate a lot of African-American schools. And then all of a sudden those schools got moved to the bottom and they're trying to expand it again. And you're like, oh, okay, well, maybe I shouldn't trust you this time. And some of the people that I put in office to look out for us, I shouldn't trust. But they have been screaming at the top of their lungs, this is why this is happening and I need you to expand it. And they're like, well, no, you've already lost me. So, I mean, it works both ways. Like, it works on behalf of the elected official. It works one way. And for the voter, it works another way. The elected official has gotten more knowledgeable and gained more information, whereas the voter has remained stagnant. So if you both started here, the candidate has turned into an elected official and is here. They have no other choice but to learn more. But you're still here and operating on this level. Who's going to get left behind?
Right.
So you just have to do your research and become more aware of what's happening. You can easily go down to a city commission or a county commission meeting, even if you can't watch it on TV.
Yeah.
And they'll explain to you what's happening. The $52 million budget gap that Orlando had or has right now, they talked about it during the city commission meeting.
What about your opinion on the city dropping that eminent domain suit against the church downtown? What are your thoughts?
I think there's a little bit more to it maybe than what's being revealed. I don't think that the city just all of a sudden caught religion and said, we're not doing right by this church. And we need to move over a block west, I think it is.
Right.
But the Lord said.
Yeah,
Yeah.
They prayed,
They did.
and the Lord answered.
You know how many Facebook statuses I saw that said, "But God," and
God.
look at God. I'm not saying that God didn't insert
Then-
himself,
whoa,
but I'm just
look
saying.
what station you on before you speak.
I know, right?
Look at where you at.
Hold your
I'm not
tongue,
saying
young
right.
man.
I know, right?
Hold your tongue.
Tread lightly.
Well, look, if you got God in the church, then some people think you got the devil on the other side.
Well, that's what the devil was. The devil was the state, and God defeated. Amen.
We'll talk offline.
Yeah, because there is. Look, they're gonna, because the stadium is moving, they're gonna have to close. They're gonna have to shut part of Paramore down when the games are going on. Same thing they did with Church Street when they built the Amway Center.
Trust me, they're doing a lot more than shutting Paramore down.
Exactly. So for
Paramore in the next 10 years will not be as you know it today.
5,
It's gonna take 10.
I don't think 10.
You don't think so?
Nah, it'd be
I'm
less
talking
than
about.
I think completion maybe 10.
That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah,
I'm talking about.
completion,
You'd be like, man, 10 years ago it wasn't nothing like this.
You can even say that 2-3 years from now. I
Yeah.
think once that stadium is built and they start pushing all y'all Negroes out,
Oh, they doing
like
that
they're doing that
already.
now?
They doing that already.
then
Giving out. I don't even like I said. I don't even know if they giving out vouchers.
They said
you
they
know,
were giving out vouchers.
that's what they said.
At one point in time.
But like somebody who was talking to me about it, and they were saying they knew somebody who got a voucher. They have expiration dates on those vouchers. Some of them are 30 days.
Yeah.
Some of them are 60. Depending on how long that voucher is. And it's only like maybe $500 voucher. It's not too. It depends on who you are, how much it is.
Right.
But it still has an expiration. on it.
whenever you start to
just
see,
moving you further down.
whenever you start to see signs that say, "I want to live in a place where I can work, play, and eat in the same spot," they're gentrifying you out of the community. You always start to see those signs in black communities, older black communities, that they're trying to gentrify, and then when you start seeing yuppies show up and say, "Oh, I live right here. I can bike down the street to my job, and I can go to a nice restaurant in my complex," they are about to gentrify the community, or they're in the process of doing it. And for us, we get caught up. Yeah, I wouldn't mind doing that. Well, you're gonna do it on the other side of town.
Yeah, 'cause this is not for you.
So this is absolutely
This is not you.
This is not for you. This soccer stadium, not for you. Citrus Bowl, y'all can still have the Florida Classic there for the time being.
For the time being.
Yeah, for the time being.
It's
but
also socioeconomic, though.
oh, absolutely.
Like it's not shutting out all blacks.
No.
It's the poor blacks.
Yeah.
Well, what
and
is
poor
the most
people.
of it then?
Yeah, I mean,
It's
truth to
shutting
that,
out the middle class.
the poor. That's the main thing. The homeless, everybody. So where are they gonna go? That's the question.
Further deep until they move the construction closer to OBT.
They'll open up some Section 8 for them to go.
Yeah.
They'll
Something
be
like that.
in
Where,
Claremont.
like further down, like Oak Ridge? Way?
Claremont. That's where they will be.
Wherever you start to see a little bit of white flight in communities where a suburban community that was predominantly white, and all of a sudden some people are starting to trek out, and they're like, you know what, we're okay with turning that community into a brown community, then you'll start to see them track over there because the housing and the property values will start to go down. It's like a vicious cycle. Well, when there was white flight in the 50s and 60s and white folks started to move out to the suburbs, they're coming back.
Right.
And now they're going to
Exactly.
push you back out to where
exactly
they were.
That's exactly what's happened because they coming back and pushing you out.
it's almost like a form of redlining, to be honest with you. But
We'll see.
It's gonna be interesting.
It's
But
happening. That's the thing. It's happening.
that
We're seeing.
article
We're
with
gonna
them
see.
lifting that, I was like,
look, Buddy Dyer ain't found Jesus. Don't believe that.
I was like, ooh,
Yeah.
See, that's sad.
y'all.
Buddy, yeah,
That's sad.
he's not thinking.
You got shaky faith, brother.
Look, Buddy Dyer, look, in the article he said this is going to open up more housing and economic opportunities because we're moving the stadium. Not for us.
But God.
Ah.
Jesus.
That's all I got to say. It's like, but God. That's
He
it.
is a
Well, you ain't got nothing else
That's
to add.
all I got to
It's just-
say.
yeah,
I don't
no.
have none. I don't have to say
He's a
nothing
miracle worker. He is a miracle worker.
Yeah, we'll
And
see.
that's all.
But
We'll see what happens.
Y'all just don't. Y'all got shaky.
this
That
year-
church had stand still faith. They stood for what they believed
And
in.
they gonna build all around that church and push them out.
Hey, that ain't. Sometimes you just got to make a statement to say.
Oh, I'm sorry. Can I mention something really, really quick? I apologize. This
got 2
Saturday,
minutes.
I know this Saturday at the Wayne Dench YMCA off of Powers, I think that is. I got the flyer.
Yeah, that
the
is on
Central
fire.
Florida Urban League and the Sanctuary Church, they are holding a back-to-school event. They're giving away free shoes. So if you got some kids that need some shoes, free shoes, backpacks, haircuts. Orlando City Soccer is going to be down there holding a clinic. They're going to give a golf clinic. There's going to be entertainment there as well. But if your kid needs a haircut before they go back to school, if they need shoe, absolutely. I need to go down there and get a free haircut. But if you need shoes or supplies, they will be down there to meet your needs. I'll send you to my Facebook page, Jason Henry or Jason Henry Project. You can find the flyer there. It's called Steps in the Right Direction. Again, free shoes, back to school shoe giveaway. That is the point. Free shoes. And these are name brand shoes. These aren't just, Scuttles.
So they got what, Fila and Adidas?
Adidas.
They got Adidas?
They got Adidas.
They got Jordans?
No. Jordans, come on, man.
Okay.
I had to ask. People
August
wanna know.
9th, this Saturday, Wayne Dench YMCA from 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. Take your kids down there. Free shoes, free backpacks, free haircuts.
There you go, man.
Awesome.
Speaking of visiting places, we need. Have y'all heard of St. Armand's Circle before down in Sarasota?
Mm-mm.
We need to, as black people, we need to take a trip down there. I was down there a couple weekends ago. We are not represented down there. They are not used to seeing us. And I
go
just
to the villages.
Sorry?
It's kind of like when you go to the villages.
Definitely like when you go to the villages. I ran around. I was out there for about 2 hours. I counted about 10 black people in the 2 hours that I was there. But it's really nice. You really need to go visit St. Armand's Circle down by Sarasota, right down from Lido Beach. Really nice area. A lot of great restaurants. A lot of nice retail spots as well. A lot of local or I should say home kind of mom and pop stores is what I'm getting at, that offer a variety of different things. I went down there and got a bunch of spices myself because I like to burn sometimes. But St. Armand's Circle,
Burn
man.
the spices, right?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. I'm just saying.
Yeah, man, check it out. St. Armand's Circle down by Sarasota. We need to visit and let them know black people do live in Florida. This is not y'all area, man. This is your host, Jay Real, signing off.
WOKB, Winter Garden, Orlando.
Yo, back, did the Lord change your life?
Oh yeah, he came and he made it right.
Yo, back, did the Lord change your life?
Yup, he came and he changed my life.
Yeah, this song is for everyone who's been washed in the blood of the Lamb, and you're not ashamed to sing about it. Yo, Cliff, take me to the verse.
I was bound and I needed to be free. The cares of life got the best of me. The joy in serving him